it's really easy to get stuck and overwhelmed and frustrated because you are not doing things that everybody else is doing. But the truth is, what is your vision for your business? How you
Oh
want your
shit.
business to be? And
Yeah.
like everything what you do every single day, is it in alignment with your goals and dreams? If it's not, it has to go from your to-do list. And that really brings me so much clarity. I'm not wasting my time, because I used to waste so much time on everything what I see. And right now I'm just asking, does it this does it this task serve me or brings me closer to my goals? No. Move it.
Get rid of it.
And that's it.
Yeah.
I'm writing right now with the book. Actually, the book is almost done. It's in editing. It's like I woke up every single day at 5 a.m. to write my book. And it was like, if I'm doing this, is it going to bring me closer to my goals? Yes. And everything else that doesn't
Mhm.
support that book process has to go off the list.
Unleash the untapped potential within you as we dive fearlessly into the realms of healing, personal growth, self-love, and uncharted territories of the human experience. Join us as we navigate relationships, conquer career and business milestones, and explore the depths of spirituality. This isn't just a podcast, it's a manifesto for the resilient, the ambitious, the soul-searching women and men of today. Grab your coffee and let's dive in with Beyond the Surface.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to another episode here on Beyond the Surface. And Nina, welcome to the show. Welcome to the podcast. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so honored to have you.
Thank you so much, Ashley. Thank you. And hello, everybody who is listening to us. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much.
I am so excited to dive into this conversation. I feel like in some way, shape, or form, our beautiful guides have landed us here in this moment, and I'm just really excited to unpack. We've already been chatting a little bit beforehand, but today, we're gonna go on a beautiful journey with your story and unpacking that. And first and foremost, I'd love, before we even dive into all of that, is for you to just introduce yourself and share who you are, Nina.
So, first of all, I just want to say my name is Nina Maglic. I'm energy healer and marketing coach for healers. I'm on a mission to bring peace and healing to humanity. That's my soul mission. And I'm super excited to be here with you today and talk about that.
Yeah. So I think a beautiful starting point, because weren't always a energy healer or an
Mm.
entrepreneur and being in this space. And, you talk about how you grew up very young, having experienced war. And so I'm curious, like, how did you get to this point and to this space of becoming an energy healer?
So, you already mentioned that I grew up in a war with very three tough years, like no electricity, no running water, no food, nothing. Like really scared for my
Yeah.
life, my family's life. Surviving just one more day was like winning a lottery. And you know that feeling when you think life cannot get any worse, and you wake up next morning and life punches you and knocks out you, and you think, oh my God, why this happened to me?
Mm.
That was my life for the 3 years. And when war was over, everybody was telling me, just move on and pretend as nothing happened. But this is what I did. I just moved on, and all that trauma and all unprocessed emotions were stored in my body, and my body remembered that very vividly, even though I forgot about a lot of these things. So, very often we suppress trauma and what we went through, but our subconscious mind still remembers everything. And I started
Mhm.
learning about energy healing after the war, because there were so many people coming to our country and trying to spread peace and healing. And I went to the course when I learned how to do chakra balancing. But I
Mm.
never really understood the power of it until I became sick. For, a few years later, actually, almost 20 years later, I became very, very sick. And I spent 18 months looking for a solution for my cure. I had the bad cramps. Every time I had a cramp, I was paralyzed from pain for 1 hour, and nobody knew why. I
Yeah.
did all blood tests. I did all scans, but nothing showed why I have a pain.
Mm.
And there was one day at the hospital when they told me it's going to take us years to find the root cause of your pain. And I couldn't live with that pain one more day. I was like, oh my God, how am I supposed to live like this?
Yeah.
And I remember leaving the hospital crying, defeated, like I had nothing else to lose because I lost my health. I couldn't work. And all of a sudden, like I said, like, let me try with energy healing. I had nothing else to lose.
Mm.
On my way home, I scheduled a call with my energy healer, and in just 2 sessions, I became pain free after 18 months of agony. And that changed my whole life. I said, I want to know what you know. I want to be able to help myself anytime I need that. And I started
Mm.
learning more about energy healing to help myself to get my health back. And I recovered very, very fast from everything. From I never had pain again. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden, people from the course started referring me people like their friends and family members to help them because I was doing so much. Like I got obsessed about that because I wanted to get my
Mm.
health back. And there was one point when I realized I was fully booked weeks in advance. I was like, oh my God, this is not hobby anymore. This is a business. And this is like how I became an energy healer. I never, well, actually, it was not on my plan to be an energy healer because before that, I
Mhm.
was working in marketing, doing all these amazing campaigns for Fortune 500 companies. And all of a sudden,
Yeah.
I'm doing healing. Like, oh my God. It took me a while to realize that, you know, it was really hard for me to announce that on my LinkedIn page, on my social media,
Mhm.
because everybody knew me as a marketing person. And all of a
Right.
sudden, I'm doing something like totally different. Talking about healing. Like, and I remember that moment when I had the courage to
Mhm.
finally, after almost 1 year of practicing energy healing, to announce on LinkedIn that I have on my website and I'm doing something else. Oh my God, it was the scariest day. I pressed publish. I published the post that I have a website. And I received so many beautiful comments
Mhm.
and so many words of encouragement. And even 7 days after I announced that, I got a card from one of my bosses and one of my mentors at universities. She wrote me a card and it was like, it looks like you found your calling. What can you wish for more? Congratulations. And I cried. I cried like a little child because I realized the only person standing in my way was me. And then I realized
Mm.
if I'm going to have a business that is going to touch thousands of hearts and help so many people heal, I have to grow beyond my fears and limitations. I need
Mm.
to start looking what's wrong, what's out of alignment inside of me and change that so I can help more people heal and change their
Yeah.
lives.
And it's so hard, right? Because I feel like, on the journey, and especially being in this, being an entrepreneur, or, going down this path and growing your own business and creating something, from this place, so, surrounded in love and from your heart. And I feel like along the way, there's like all these different benchmarks, or if you want to call it, or little like moments where we've got to unpack and face the limiting beliefs, the fears. There's always going to be that. And sometimes when I look at some of the, like, just mentors, and I'm not talking about like the Marie Forleo and the Tony Robbins. I'm talking about like the people that I know, that I have regular conversations with, and they're doing such an incredible job in their business. And on the outside, I'm like, how are you just going at it? Like, you're always on the move, you're always moving. And even when probably they themselves feel like they have slowed down, to me, I'm like, you're still moving, you're still doing all of these beautiful things. And how do you navigate the fears and the limiting beliefs? Because I feel like one of maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the biggest things that comes into play as being in the space of energy healing or and just healing in general or the spiritual, it's like, how do you even put a price tag on or even just charge for what you want to bring to the world? Because you're going to do it no matter what because you love it so much. So, how did you navigate that? Did you ever come to that roadblock?
Oh yeah, that was a big roadblock for me. Actually, I have to be honest with you. I felt that I cannot charge people for helping them. That was for
Yeah.
me really, really big block. I remember the moment when I first time took money for a session.
Hmm.
I felt it. I felt so uncomfortable. And I said, if I'm going to take money, I'm going to do something good with that money. And I decided to donate that money fully to feed 100 kids in an orphanage in Bosnia.
Mm.
And the moment when I did that and when I received feedback from these kids, they were so happy and all like really loving messages from them. I realized if I charge, I can help more people. And there's like, I help people heal, but at the same time, percentage of my revenue goes to support people who need that support the most. And that's the whole
Mm.
business I have, like good for you, good for your clients, and good for humanity, giving back to humanity. It's, I know some people cannot do that because they don't have revenue, but we can always go give back something. Like there's thousands of ways how we can give back to community. For those who cannot afford our services, we can always give scholarships to our programs,
Mm.
or even create a group program, or give group session for free once a
Yeah.
month, just
Mm.
to help them. My This is my vision of having business. It's this, because when you're an energy healer, you have a mission that is bigger than you, and
Yeah.
you have amazing gifts
Hmm.
that could change people's lives. And it is your responsibility to do that, to share your gifts with the world. But the universe doesn't want you to be poor and struggle. It wants to reward you for the work you do.
Yeah.
And when we charge and when we take our money, we can do so much good for the people around us. And I remember, I also want to say something, like, because it's at the beginning, we give all the time, and we just give without receiving back. It really is not in alignment with what we do. And sometimes people really do not appreciate that. We have a saying in Austria, what costs nothing is nothing worth. And that's so true,
Mm.
because when very often when we constantly give, people don't appreciate that. And we need to tell people, like, this is what we do. And when you start charging, people start looking at you as, first of all, your family members see that you have a
Yeah.
business. That's the most important thing, because a lot of people think this is not a business, this is just a hobby, this is what you do. First
Hmm.
of all, this is a business, and we need to cover our costs. And when we have a money, we can help more people. People who
Mm.
cannot afford our services, there's always way to give back to humanity, but this is a business, and our main focus is really to make sure that we have all our bills paid, and
Yeah.
that we have a normal life, because the universe doesn't want us to be broke, poor,
Yeah.
struggle. The universe wants to reward us for the work we do.
Yeah. And the thing is, too, there's so many implications, too, when we aren't taking care of ourselves first, right? It comes back to that whole thing when you go on an airplane, you put on your oxygen mask first, and then you go and help someone. Because how are you of any service if you are not at your best, if you are
Yes.
not healthy and taken care of? And that doesn't just mean making sure that you are active and have a healthy diet. Like, that's not just healthy. Healthy is your nervous system being taken care of, you feeling a sense of safety and security. And that is where making sure there's money to have food on the table, there's money to have your bills paid. Because if you're stressing about how am I going to pay my bills, your nervous system is not functioning well. And how can you in that space then show up and serve your clients? So
Yeah.
it actually is this like ripple effect that I know it's uncomfortable, and I'm not coming from this place of, oh, I'm fully comfortable, because it still feels strange for me. I'm still navigating this area around it too. And but that's what I realized in this moment too. I'm like, wow, it's so much more beyond than just like making sure we have like we're taking care of us. It's like taking care of you, and also your nervous system allows you to serve more people. Not just the money aspect, right? Not that you can just go back and donate. It's you showing up better for your clients. That's also how we give back. And the other thing, the other kind of piece to that is look at, I think a perfect example is when you look at something that you were given for free, or something that maybe you signed up for free. How did you show up for that? Did you even show up for it? You know what I mean? Like there's in this world, right, of personal development, and we have access, lots of people are doing free courses and masterclass, and it's so beautiful when you show up and when you treat it as if you paid $1,000. You really can receive so much value from it. But how many times have you signed up for something and you don't even like look at the thing that you signed up for? You don't even watch it, and it just sits in your inbox or whatever it is, you know? And the difference of when you've actually invested money into something and
Yeah.
you
When
show
people
up
pay.
differently.
Yeah, when
Exactly.
people
And
pay,
that's
they
and
pay
that's the
attention.
point. Exactly, right? That's the point of with our clients. That's the experience that we are creating for our clients. We do it for ourselves, and that's the experience that we create for our clients. So when we don't charge, we're not giving them that, they're not showing up fully for themselves. Yes, some people will. Like there are some people that are going to be in situations that you're going to know the right way to, or when the right time is to gift those clients. You're going to know
Mm,
because your intuition's going to tell you. But then there's other people that they can afford it. And this is kind of like a bonus for them, whatever that looks like. And them not paying for it is creating a disservice for them.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. And there's also one thing that we need to discuss also, when you don't have a money and when you don't take money for the services you offer, then you take any clients that show up. Like if somebody wants to pay you and then you are so happy that somebody wants
Yeah.
to work with you and pay you, and then there's something like you take clients that they are not the best fit for you, but you just take them because you need money. And I really want to encourage everybody, no matter how much you struggle, don't take clients that you cannot help just because you need money. Focus on the clients that you really can help and can serve and provide the best solution for them, and charge for that. And they will
Yeah.
pay if you know how to sell.
Yeah. I mean, I think we can all say that we've experienced, working
Mm.
with clients where we were like, I knew I should have said no. I knew I shouldn't have done it. But yes, there's of course a learning that comes from it. Yes. And also it impacts you on emotional level, and in many different ways. And again, then that's impacting the way that you're showing up for other clients, right? It's kind of
Mm.
like, the one bad apple, not that the client's the bad apple, but it's just not a good fit, right? Just that one experience is impacting all the other experiences that you are having too, and how you're showing up in other ways.
Yeah. And I really have to say, like, I noticed that very early that I really know who I want to work with. And I always knew that because I'm really sensitive with whom, like, I have a group program, and I
Hmm.
have also responsibility for those people who are in my program to protect them and create safe environment for them to heal.
Mm,
That's the number one thing. I need
so
to
true.
protect these people and provide the best experience and the best way for them to heal. And I have responsibility who I let in. I cannot just let anybody. And I'm really
Yeah.
selective, even though there were times when I didn't have a money. I made it clear, like, I don't need people who are going to like in some way could harm my clients. And
Yeah.
I'm really protective, and I really make sure that they I create for them safe environment. That's for me the number one, because very often people come to healers when, like I did, like they try
Mm.
so many options, and when
Hmm.
nothing really works, they come to us. And I really want for them to be really seen, heard, and understood,
Mm.
and have the best environment. Very often people cannot change because they don't have support. They struggle with their
Yeah.
family members, they struggle with their partners, with friends. And if they don't have support from us, how they are supposed to heal? And
Yeah.
that's
That's so
why
true.
the whole environment is very important, and who we let in and whom we work with is so important.
Yeah. And that's a big responsibility, right? That
Hmm.
lands on you yourself, but everyone who creates experiences like that. It is, you treat it sacred and it will be kept sacred, and
Hmm.
also everyone holds the sacredness of the container too.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, what a responsibility though. And I'm curious too in terms of your business and being, how long have you been in business now?
4 years.
Wow. And what does it look like from when you started to like now? Like, what does it look like? What are the challenges and what are what are the challenges that you find like you're experiencing now as opposed to like what you experienced when you were first starting?
Okay, that's a really good question, because I have to say at the beginning, I treated my business as a hobby. I didn't
Hmm.
take it seriously because I was just trying to help people. I didn't think about that as a business. Then I realized I'm fully booked weeks in advance. Come on, like this is a business. I'm working. And that was the first aha moment. I have to change how I treat my business. And at the
Mm,
beginning, I didn't have any strategy, because, okay, whatever universe sends to me. But then I realized, if I'm going to create something that is impactful, I need to have a strategy. I need to plan that. And I
mm,
started planning for that. The next thing what I did was I started thinking about how would business of my dreams look like, and let me
mm,
show up like that today. And I started doing that. Okay, if I had all the everything what I wanted in my business, how would my day look like? And I
yeah,
start behaving in that way. Okay, if I have to do social media posts, if I have to do this, I had a to-do list, and I
yeah,
had my goals, and I had my plans, and I had my action items to make sure that I achieve my goals. That
yeah,
was really something that at the beginning, as I said, I didn't have it, because I didn't even realize that I have a business.
yeah.
And then the next thing, what I would say at the beginning, there are a lot of shining objects when you start doing
So true.
this healing. You start doing what everybody else is doing without
Hmm.
realizing that 90% of healers struggle to make money with these services.
Hmm.
And if you want to do something and want to earn money by doing the work you love, you need to do things that the opposite what 90% of healers do, and start really doing something
Mm,
else. And this is how I did. Actually, I start paying attention what my clients really want. And instead of looking what other people are doing and what other people are creating with their businesses, I start paying attention to my clients to make sure that they have all their needs met, and that I know exactly what they need and follow the steps.
yeah.
For example, I created a whole program. It was a group program, and people had amazing results. And this is what I did. I just sold the program before I had anything created. I had an outline, and I invited people to come and join. And then I was listening to them. I would tune into their energy to see what they really need. And I would create that
Mm,
experience for them. And the program was really successful. People loved it. And then they started asking me, we want to work with you. How can we work with you more? I said, I was like really confused. And they said, let's have a membership. Let's have a membership. I said, yeah, let's have a membership. Let's create a membership. And they stayed with me. And actually, clients stayed with me for years because they loved the experience I create, the safe container I create, the way how we do the healing. And I'm not just about healing. I'm about to creating community where people support each other. That's for me the number one
Mm.
reason. And when it feels okay to say, I'm not feeling okay today, and there are
Yeah.
a lot of people who will help you that day. And that's for me the number one reason why I'm doing all that too.
Mm.
Because I have to be honest, when I started this, I wish I had that community, and I didn't have.
Totally.
And
Of
I
course.
wanna create something that people really need to
Yeah.
heal and transform their life and have a biggest breakthroughs. And sometimes when
Yeah.
I create my programs, I also invite other healers. When I tune in,
Hmm.
for example, and I see people still suffer because they lost very close family members or partners or friends and they cannot move on with their lives, I invite medium.
Mm.
Let's give them readings. Let's give them messages for their loved ones
Oh,
and
wow.
help them heal and help them move forward, whatever they need. This is not about me, it's about them and providing the best experience for them. And this is
Yeah.
like when you do that, your clients are so happy. They say, I'm your student for life. Whatever you do, I will buy, because you're paying attention to them. They are listening.
Yeah.
Like, you are listening to them. Whatever they need, you just follow and create. Let me do this. Let me create something really powerful. And very often when I love group programs. I'm all about group programs because I noticed that as a group, we heal faster
Mm.
and we heal much better because you have community to support you. And very often when you work with one-on-one with clients, very often people feel closed and don't want to open. But
Hmm.
in group, when you create the group, very often people have similar patterns, similar pains
Yeah.
and problems and limiting beliefs, and they
Yep.
feel safe and they feel like supported to heal and open up and share their stories. And yeah,
Yeah.
they have a big breakthroughs.
I was just, part of like a group experience, although it was a very individual experience. We had daily, just quick calls. And what was coming through, as one was speaking, my mentor actually taught me this thing, you just kind of in your head, like, it was all women, so in your head, or just out loud, if you want, you just kind of whisper, like, that sister speaks for me, and we could say that, right? Like, and that is kind of like communicating that, that's me too, like, that's something that I need support with too, like. And that's, I think, such a beautiful thing that comes through group is when that starts to happen, is sometimes we might not know how to put words to what it is that we're experiencing, but someone else does. And we can see ourselves where we see that mirror, right? And we're like, that's me too. And we receive that support and that guidance. And I always love when I witness those things happening. We with the self-publishing agency, the Studio Press, we run a co-author book. And it has been like, it's one of the most incredible experiences. But the last one that we just ran was like, everybody had this common thread of writing was something that they just have always dreamed of doing. Like, they always had this like childhood dream of wanting to write a book, and to witness all of them also support each other in their journey of writing, and being able to say, I'm experiencing this like block here, and like, they're just communicating with each other, and it's such an incredible thing to witness. So there's so much power in group. But one thing that I was thinking about, going back to when you were talking about how at the beginning you treated your business like a hobby, um, do you think, I know that, and correct me if I'm wrong, you mentioned that you kind of started your business as you kind of took time off from the career that you had, right? Like, you were working
Yes.
for other company, right? So you're building your business, and kind of like you have all that time. And I understand that whole piece around like treating it as a hobby. Do you think that it is possible for people to have the full-time job and also not treat their business like a hobby?
Oh, definitely. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I saw that with my clients. I had the clients who had a full-time job and
Hmm.
started doing healing addition as a side hustle.
Right.
But that side hustle became much bigger and
Of course.
more profitable than the main job. Than they had
Yeah.
they had opportunity to leave the job they didn't like so much, so they can spend more time with their families.
Mm-hmm.
I truly believe you can, but you need to be very strict what you want, how you
Yeah.
want your business to be, and really get clear on your goals and eliminate all shiny objects and stay focused and just ask yourself really, like, if I do this, is it going to bring me closer to my goals or not? If it's not going to bring you closer, you have to move it to do it from your to-do list. And this is exactly what I'm doing all right now.
Mm-hmm.
I have, like, as a healers, we tap into unlimited source of creativity. We know how to get the guidance, how to get ideas and all kind of things. And on top of that, there are so many shiny objects on the internet. You just need to scroll on Instagram. Oh my God, I want to do this. I want to do this.
Yeah.
But it's really easy to get stuck and overwhelmed and frustrated because you are not doing things that everybody else is doing. But the truth is, what is your vision for your business? How you
Oh
want your business
shit.
to be? And
Yeah.
like everything what you do every single day, is it in alignment with your goals and dreams? If it's not, it has to go from your to-do list. And that really brings me so much clarity. I'm not wasting my time, because I used to waste so much time on everything what I see. And right now I'm just asking, does it this does it this task serve me or brings me closer to my goals? No. Move it.
Get rid of it.
And that's it.
Yeah.
I'm writing right now with the book. Actually, the book is almost done. It's in editing. It's like I woke up every single day at 5 a.m. to write my book. And it was like, if I'm doing this, is it going to bring me closer to my goals? Yes. And everything else that doesn't
Mm-hmm.
support that book process has to go off the list. I don't care. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
can do it in 5 months, in 10 months, but right now this is the main focus, and everything else, yeah, I'm
Mm.
sorry, it needs to wait.
You said something that just, I think gave me so much clarity. Was, it's so easy to get frustrated and overwhelmed when you're not doing what everybody else is doing. I've never heard anyone say that, and that was such a blessing for me to hear. Um, I feel like I've been this in this like in between space almost, um, and just like also I'm being very mindful and cautious to not absorb and consume while I'm in this space, because this time right now is for me to listen. It's and listen to my own self. I'm not saying listen to other people. I'm saying like listen to myself and create the space where I can get the clarity, and do the things that kind of exactly what you're saying. Like right now, it's what do I love doing right now? And for me right now is the podcast, is the show. And through the conversations, it's like, ah, clarity. Ah,
Mm,
another piece. There we go. We're putting the pieces together. But you saying that was so much permission. Oh my
mm,
gosh. I've never heard anyone say that. It's easy to get overwhelmed and frustrated because you're not following what other people are doing.
yeah.
Holy
and
crap. Holy
and
crap.
it's look, I've been there. I get easily distracted by shiny objects and what
Yeah.
everybody else is doing, and I think I have to do this. I signed up for so many programs, I did so many courses, and
Yep.
if you're not clear on your goals, somebody else's goals become your goals. And then one
Yeah.
day you wake up and say, I don't like this, I didn't sign up for this. And that was for me, the moment when I said, what do I want? And everything else
Mhm.
that is not in alignment with what I want and how I want my business to be cannot be on my
Yeah.
to-do list. And it's there's so much pressure also from when you do business. Of course, you have to make money, and as a healer, especially, because if you're not making money, your
Mhm.
family and friends do not see this as a business. They see this as a
Mhm.
hobby. And for me, the most important thing is, what do I want? How I'm going to get my closer to my goals, and how I'm going to achieve my goals. I don't care what kind of goals you have, because I work with a lot of clients. I work with moms who want to replace their full-time job so they can stay more at home. I also work with healers who earn millions and want to
Yep.
scale their business. It's not about them. It's not about what others
What?
want. it's about what you want. Because if we start comparing ourselves, what we want and what others are doing, oh my God, we feel like a losers because we are not doing all things that thousands of healers are
Mm-hmm.
doing. But if you
Mm-hmm.
just, okay, what do I want? And if I want to take break to spend more time with my family, this is my decision. And I did it consciously, and I'm happy with that. If everybody wants
Yeah.
to hustle 24/7, that's their way of doing life. And I respect that. But my way is really to have a healthy balance between my work, my family, and also have time for myself. Because if I burn out,
Yeah.
what's the point?
100%. 100%. I remember not too long ago, just like getting into being asked, like, what how do I see like success? You know what I mean? And like
Mhm.
what does that even mean to me? What does that look like for me in my life? And to be honest, I don't think I ever was really directly asked that question. And I think I started to really adopt and absorb the people in whose spaces that I was in. So my own coaches and mentors that I was, investing in. And I was naturally like taking on their ideas, taking on their vision of success. And, the yeah, it's just that is such a big piece, and now something that I feel like a freaking advocate for. Where first off, you don't necessarily have to quit your full time job until you feel good with doing that, because that's not going to feel good if you're struggling. First and
Mhm.
foremost, like please don't do that. Have the security and the safety, and then when you have that option, and if it feels good, do the thing. Do the thing. Whatever feels good for you. And also not to take on other people's ideas of success. If the $1 million idea or like $1 million business feels kind of scary and like in the sense of just doesn't feel good for you, let it go. It does
Mhm.
not have to be yours. And that's sometimes can be the disconnect, and really is that distraction from the shiny object, right? Especially when we're starting out. That's like, I feel like the principles that are forgotten of building a business. Yes, give me some strategy. Give me kind of some structure. I'm going to try it on. And then I'm going to let go of the things that don't fit. The things that just don't feel good for me that I don't want to do. And I've never been in a container, like business container, or in that aspect where someone was like, okay, but what do you want? I've given you this, but now how does this feel for you? Or even just the simple permission to say, you don't have to follow this. If this doesn't feel good,
Mhm.
don't follow this. Right? Like sometimes it's like the end all be all. And it's that piece around coming back to ourselves as entrepreneurs. Like, you know what I mean? You're trying to build this. Yes, you're an entrepreneur, you're building a business. You've got to have connection and space for you and yourself to be able to tune in, because if you're
Mhm.
always in the space of other people, you're not going to know what you want.
Yeah. And as I said, like else's goals become your goals, and it's like, I don't like this. It doesn't
Yeah.
feel good, and it feels so much pressure, and it puts me like almost on the edge of burnout to achieve this, and I don't want to even have that. It's like,
Yeah.
so that's why my philosophy is all about what do you want and what feels good for you,
Mm-mm.
and how I'm going to give you strategy, but we need to know what you want
What
to
do you
get you
want?
there. Because if
Yeah.
you don't know where you want to go, any road will take you there.
Yeah, it's true. It's
It's
true.
very
And one
simple.
thing that you said earlier too was when you're talking about your book, right? I had the, very similar journey in the sense that I like my book became my sole focus, and that's okay too.
Mhm.
If you're not evolving too, like allow space for that. Allow space for your journey to be to change, because you are going to maybe have a short little blimp of a period of time where all you want to do is write your book, let's say. Let's use that as an example.
Mhm.
And that becomes your sole primary focus, and the other pieces are going to take a back seat for a while. They're not going to be on the to-do list for a while. But then once the book is done, guess what? You can bring those pieces right back in. Pick up right where you left off. And that allowing ourselves to do just that. When I was writing my book, it was the exact same thing. It was saying no to I would come home from work work on my book. Weekends, I was working on my book because that's like, I just wanted to be in that space. I wanted to write. I wanted to be in that space. And I said no to everything else. Everything else, I just said no. And that's what allowed me to write a book in 3 months. I don't say that as that has to be everyone's journey, but the reason it didn't take 6 months or a year to write that book is because I kind of just shut all communication from everything else. I was like,
Mm.
now my book is everything right now.
Yeah, I also wrote the book in a very short period of time because I decided like to understand what is the goal of my book. What do I want my book to do for me and for my business? And that was the moment when I realized, okay, if this is going to help me achieve my goals, then this is the priority for me. As I mentioned, like what do you want
Yeah.
for your business? And if this book is going to support your business and help you position you as an authority and help you get more clients, then you have to write the book. You have to find time to write the book.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, so good. So good. So before we kind of like wrap up, I always love asking this question. If you were to kind of like distill like your life's journey into one piece of advice, what would that be for those that are listening?
So if you struggle right now and have a really, really hard time, and you ask yourself, can my life ever get better? Is this even possible for me? Maybe better life is just for lucky ones, and I'm not that lucky one.
Hmm.
I want you to know that the better life is possible for you. You just need to let go of everything that you're not and let go of all these limiting beliefs and heal deep wounds inside of you, and you can have a better life. But it doesn't happen on its own. You need to take
Hmm.
action because we know that very little things in our life happen on its own without us taking action.
Hmm.
And we need to take action towards our healing. And yes, it's at the beginning it's going to be really hard because you need to look at inside of you what is out of alignment and heal that. But I promise you, it gets better. And one thing that I know from my own experience and from my healing my own like trauma and all these experiences that I had in my life and from my client stories is when you heal, you can look back at your past, but you don't have emotional attachment to that. And that's for me the
Mm.
liberation. That's for me the biggest reward ever. And even though you struggled and you faced very hard times, you will be able to look back and say, okay, this is what happened, but I don't have any
Hmm.
emotions around that. And that's the biggest blessings because you don't get upset, you don't get angry.
Hmm.
And with that said, you are able to move forward with your life
Yeah.
and create a better
Mm.
life for yourself. Because there's no
Mm.
anger, there's no pain, there's no other emotions attached to that. And you have a new door open for you.
Mm. I love that so much. I love that so much. And for those that are tuning in and watching, I'd love for you to share where people can follow you, connect with you, stay tuned about the book coming out.
Yeah, thank you so much. You can find me if you go to my website, ninamaglic.com. You can find more about my book, ninamaglic.com/a book. The book is called Healing Millions. The whole purpose of the book is really to help healers build their businesses in the way that feels good for them, so they can heal more people, help more people heal, and help humanity. All money collected from the book launch goes to will be 100% donated to Children's Hospital, dedicated to help kids with the cancer. So when you buy a book, you help kids. And my thank you gift for everything what you do is you will get a 3-day workshop with me to help you implement
Mm.
things from the book. And I just want to say thank you, everybody who is doing this work, because sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes we have challenges. Sometimes we ask ourselves, oh my God, can I really do this? And my answer is
Hmm.
yes, you can definitely do this. You need to take action and focus on what feels good for you. And I promise you, the book is going to really help you get so much clarity what you need to do, how to create the best life experience, like and breakthrough experiences for your clients and it's really step-by-step process. It's with so much ease and clarity, and I got feedback from people who read the book. It's like kick-ass in such a beautiful, loving way. And I hope it's going to help you as well take action and overcome some challenges. And yeah, you can find me on my website, ninamaglic.com. And I'm also on Instagram. I'm Nina Maglic, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook.
Oh, that's so exciting. I honestly am so excited for the book. I can't wait to read it, to receive and be part of giving back, of course, as well. And I just want to say I'm so grateful for you, for this connection. I genuinely there's just people that, you know, you cross paths with and you're like, all right, our guides up there, they did this for us. They did this, they created this experience for us. So I'm so grateful, and I know this is kind of like the beginning of, you know, many things to come in some way, shape, or form. So I'm just so grateful for you, and I appreciate you, and I just send you so much love, and to everyone who is tuning in as well. I know that this is going to be a beautiful experience for you to really take on these words and, you know, listen to it over and over again as much as you need to really absorb, you know, the I want to say like the permission, you know, the permission that sometimes we need to cut out the noise, to be able to tune in to what we want and be able to honor what we want. So listen to this as many times as you need.
Yeah. Thank you, Ashley, so much for having me here today. Thank you so much for the work you do. I know you're doing incredible work in the world, and thank you so much. And everybody else who is listening, thank you as well. Thank you. Be brave, shine your light, because the world does need that love and light inside of you more than ever. Thank you for the work you do.
Mm.
Thank you for listening. Make sure to leave a review and continue the conversation with me over on social media. And we'll see you in the next episode.